The year 2023 is quickly drawing towards an end, and so we are aging into 2024. And as we go into 2024, it will be interesting to look at some innovation trends for 2024. Trend number 1, cultured or cultivated meats. This is a world that has continued to skyrocket and continued to grow as the world tries to look for sustainable production of meat. And so recently we've seen countries like Singapore having those restaurants where you can actually go and buy cultured meat, and this is something that is expected to continue to grow even as we go into 2024. The other thing to think about is precision fermentation. Of course, fermentation does occur as a result of yeast and things like that, and there's been so much hype about fermentation, but when it comes to precision fermentation, things like plant-based proteins will be used to produce meat analogs. Number 3 is mushroom protein. We know that mushroom has so many different values in terms of nutrition, but as we're aging into 2024, it's expected that lots of interest will focus towards mushroom protein, and so that is something or a trend that is worth watching as we go into 2024. The other trend is algae, particularly the green algae, where we have seen many people call algae a superfood. I'm not going to go into debates to talk about superfood now, but there is a chance that there's going to be more increase in algae because of the mineral content as well as the protein content being shown to be quite high, and that's a trend worth watching after. Personalized nutrition is another thing to think about. The age of one fits all is over, and now people want to look at their nutrition based on their age, their gender, the level of physical activities, etc., their DNA, their genetic makeup, and that's something that is expected, or a trend that is expected to continue skyrocketing. There will be also an increase in the production of the so-called functional beverages, which are beverages that actually have a particular function. As the name suggests, it could be like high energy, it could be things that produce or provide different functions in the body way beyond the normal just drinking to quench thirst, and hence another thing that will be interesting trend to watch out for in 2024. Next are the so-called next generational sweeteners. We know that everybody's fighting against sugar because of the health impacts that are attributed to high sugar consumption, and so we've heard things like stevia that have come into the market over the last couple of years, and this is something that is worth looking out for as this trend continues to look for alternatives to sugar that do not spike on things like insulin but also are high in health attributes. The other trend to look out for is upcycling. We've seen this happening where people have started taking things like spent grain and using it in food production. I've heard a student who has supervised using spent grain to produce cookies, and that was quite a very interesting project, and it's something worth looking at how the food industry will be using those leftovers, those like food husks and things like that, rather than them ending down into the drain or as animal feeds. They may be ending back into the food production or into the food cycle or the food system. The other thing to look out for is for AI. We know that AI now plays an important role in everything, and so there's going to be AI being used more in things like nutrition, being used more in things like smart labeling, being used more in things like kind of in a way suggesting how to enhance the nutritional constitution and components of food, and so it's worth watching what AI will do in food and nutrition in 2024. The other thing is the smart kitchen technology. There are so much investments that is going into this area. That is going to be something that there will be smart gadgets coming up and things that will hopefully make food production or food preparation become much more easier and much more user-friendly. The other trend is agriculture, where we hope to see lots of increase in things like precision farming, in things like precision agriculture, next regenerative agriculture, and things like that. And obviously, if those things are happening, things like genetic modification and changes in the production of food and things like that, obviously an increase in production that will also impact on supply and demand for different types of food, and that's something that is worth watching out for as we go into 2024. Last but not least is the sustainable packaging. Right? Everybody talks about packaging and everybody's talking about sustainability, and we know that plastic is not one of the most sustainable packaging available, and so a space worth watching how that will come into play.